Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be discussing about a very divisive topic in the national team community right now, which is about MLS players, more specifically MLS players in the national team. This Gold Cup, it's mostly MLS guys, so this has many people questioning right now the quality of MLS, the quality of the MLS guys on the national team. A lot of heated topics as of late, and today we're going to be talking about all of this. So let's go to this video. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you guys to like and subscribe and to follow me on X and on TikTok. The links will be in the description below. We're going to kick things off with the most debated guy in the USMT space right now, Patrick Aguimang. Aguimang so far during this Gold Cup has scored 2 goals in 3 games. The stats are not bad, but considering that you are literally playing against islands and Saudi Arabia, well, it's not looking too good. One of those goals was a deflection, and the other one was just basically a very good pass by John Tolkien. And outside of those 2 goals, has basically been tripping, falling over, struggling to maintain balance, losing the ball for Patrick Aguimang. And another guy that we complained a lot about when he was on the national team, Jesus Ferreira. Yeah, he scored a lot more goals than Patrick Aguimang when he played in the Gold Cup in 2023. He was even the golden boots of that edition's Gold Cup. So that talks a lot about the quality of the Gold Cup. My opinion is that Patrick Aguimang is not a USMT quality player. He should not be nowhere close. I know there's rumors of him going to Derby County. He is going to get exposed. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. Although he has many physical gifts, he's fast and all that, but when you're struggling to maintain balance, you lose the ball very quickly. Well, that's not going to be very good when he plays in the championship. He's going to get exposed. So the best thing for him he could do right now is to stay in Charlotte, because I think that's his level. Do I think like that for every single MLS player when it comes to the national team? Not at all. I think some players that do play in MLS do deserve some call-ups. Like right now, Diego Luna, of course, he deserves his call-up for the Gold Cup. Alex Freeman, considering that both our right back options, Sergio Dest and Joe Scally, didn't come to the Gold Cup, of course, he deserves his call-up. So, of course, in the right conditions, MLS players should get called up for the national team. And also in the past, like guys like Ricardo Pepi, like I used to remember for World Cup qualifiers, we had a 9 problem. We didn't have no strikers at all, but Ricardo Pepi, he came on the scene and he was scoring goals in qualifiers. So of course we all wanted him to play in the qualifiers. And of course in goal today, like Matt Turner, Ethan Horvath, they're not cutting it. So we have goalkeepers in MLS like Matt Freese. Let's see how he does. I know he had a mistake against Haiti, but I think he should be the starter for the rest of the tournament to see what he has to offer. So, of course, we don't think like that for every single MLS player, but if we call up the right guys in the right positions, of course, they should get called up. So my honest thoughts on all of this is that if you're gonna call up MLS guys, you should at least call up guys that are playing at an MLS All-Star level, at a DP level, guys like Diego Luna, guys like Sebastian Berhalter, Alex Freeman. You can even say Matt Freese this season, and of course last season he was playing like an all-star. So of course, if you're gonna call up MLS guys, you should at least call up guys that are playing at an excellent level in MLS. And of course, that is not the only reason why, because as we all know, MLS form doesn't always carry over to the national team form. Guys like Jesus Ferreira, who we all know won the Golden Boots in the 2023 Gold Cup, he was scoring goals left and right for FC Dallas. He even got a DP contract with FC Dallas due to his form. But the year before at the World Cup, the guy laid an egg against the Netherlands. It was one of the worst performances I ever seen from a national team player at a World Cup. He was that bad that he had to get subbed out at halftime for Gio Reyna. And we all know how Greg Berhalter felt for Gio Reyna at that time. So that said a lot about how bad of a game did Jesus Ferreira have. That game was a stinker. So of course, that if you're gonna call up MLS guys, well, they better be playing at an All-Star level, at a DP level, and of course, they should be playing good for the national team. For the guys that I mentioned, like Diego Luna, Sebastian Berhalter, Alex Freeman, Should they be A squad guys? Or should they be locks? And should they be called up for the World Cup? Of course not. The Gold Cup and the World Cup are two very different tournaments. Or for some certain guys, like in the case of Alex Freeman, he of course will have to compete for a spot against Sergio Dest and Joe Scally. And I just think that Sergio Dest and Joe Scally are just at a different level when compared to Alex Freeman. And of course, Sebastian Berhalter, you can also put him into that conversation too, that he just faces way too much competition. Of course, you have guys like Tyler Adams, Johnny Cardoso, and Weston McKennie, but you also have other guys like Aiden Morris, Tanner Tessman, and Gianluca Busio. So I think Sebastian Berhalter's hands are full. He's going to have to compete with a lot of guys. And in the case of Diego Luna, although he has to compete with Malik Tillman and Gio Reyna, I do think he has worked his way into the A squad. Although I don't think he is a lock or much less a starter. But I do think if he wants to give himself the best opportunity to be called up for the World Cup next summer, he should move abroad, obviously. Like, although he's been playing very good for RSL, but I don't think staying at RSL will help his chances to be called up for a World Cup next summer. So you move abroad. I'm not saying you should go to La Liga or Serie A, but definitely a move to PSV could help his case to be called up for the World Cup next summer. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.